Good evening. My name is Wallace Bradley, and I'm the host of the Bradley Report. This show is presented by United in Peace, Inc., which I'm the president of United in Peace, Inc. The issues for this program tonight, were prepared by none other than the chairman of United in Peace, Inc., and that's Terry Marsh Bradley. That's my wife. As you know, Monday, the city council, 27 members of the city council voted along with others, and they made a decision to go with the proposal that they helped put together along with the mayor and his team. People in the streets, those that didn't want no taxes, it's the first time in the history of Chicago politics that I know of where people in the community knew what was happening, who was cutting the deals with whom and for what. First time this budget has been transparent, if you will. All the mayors I know that came through Chicago, they charge property taxes to bring in revenue. So I'm going to show you what has happened. You may already be aware. But this is one of those situations, they're even trying to change the law because Brandon's the mayor, when he's doing no more than what other mayors did, except for letting the people know what's happening. So without further ado, Amani, let's go to work. Wow. Which one was that? And no.
Approval comes after weekend-long negotiations and weeks of contentious back and forth that have tested the relationship between Mayor Brandon Johnson and City Council.
While this budget process may have been different from the past, it has truly been a collaborative process.
The budget passed with the approval of 27 of 50 council members after hours of debate that at times felt personal.
I can't even get a meeting with you. I represent 55,000 people in the 45th Ward. I can't even get a meeting with you.
The 11th hour passage averts a January 1st government shutdown, which would have left city workers without a paycheck and residents without vital services.
It wasn't pretty. Democracy is never pretty. We don't get graded on style points. We get graded on making sure that people did not lose their jobs, people were not put out their homes.
In the end, the mayor's initial ask of a $300 million property tax hike was reduced to zero in favor of an increase in fees, cuts to dozens of unfilled positions, and refinancing debt from the city's purchase of the former Michael Reese Hospital. Should you have started with a $300 million ask?
I mean, listen, here's what we started with. We started with investing in people.
The budget avoids layoffs and furloughs while expanding on youth employment programs, but some in the business community critical of the fee hikes, including on plastic bags and streaming services. The Illinois Retail Merchants Association said the budget will hurt retailers of all types and sizes, as well as the communities they serve.
I think we have raised a lot of fees on the backs of hardworking families. I mean, the mayor talked about how he wanted a progressive budget. Well, there's a lot of stuff in here that's pretty regressive.
Those gimmicks, that blend of gimmicks, guarantees us the need for a massive property tax increase next year.
After the budget's approval, the mayor renewed his call for more progressive revenue solutions in Springfield, including raising taxes on the wealthy.
You know, I was taught that being progressive is moving forward. Those aldermen, the majority of them that was against the budget was also against the election of Brandon. They wanted Paul Vallis. So this day move, we're going to embarrass the mayor. We're going to embarrass the mayor. I sat there. I watched it. And it had like a racist twang to me. When you're negotiating, and everybody know that you got to give and you got to take. There's no alderman, I feel, that wouldn't try to say, hey, for my vote, put this in the budget for me. So Bill and Weisenstack, Rowley, they weren't going to vote for the budget, period. Well, they got too much taxes, we ain't gonna vote for it. Well, it's $150 million, we ain't gonna vote for it. As long as there's $68 million in there, we can't vote for it. So you would have thought that when they took the $68 million out of it, everybody would have voted for it, would have voted for it. 50 did not want to vote for it. 50, all 50 of them, because property tax was in it. But you got to create revenue, everything else, okay. Well, he kicked the can down the road, whatever it is. What mayor or governor, when it comes to a budget, haven't been known to kick the can down the road? I'm glad that those aldermen made a decision because they was hearing from the people in their community too. Those aldermen, they haven't been in there. This is their first term in there. You did the right thing for the people of the city of Chicago. Know this, in politics, you damn if you do and damn if you don't. Sister Monty, let me see that next one.
As a new budget, there are still some bitter feelings about how the whole process played out.
WGN political reporter Taman Bradley is live in the loop with more. Taman.
Lourdes and Ben, we are here in the South Loop at a youth networking event. Mayor Johnson will take the stage here and address this group in about an hour. The mayor is out on something of a victory tour, taking a victory lap. He was able to keep some of his investments for young people. The 2025 budget passed, but fallout from the contentious season lingers.
Even Mayor Johnson's most loyal supporters say the bruising battle should serve as a wake-up call.
But how we do things is just as important as what we do. And the way you've led this process has left the city council fractured.
As your senior alder person in this city, I'm telling you, you got to bring everybody together.
Despite the city council feedback and a close 27-23 vote, Mayor Johnson insists there's not a problem.
My number has not changed. Everybody still has it. We're better at receiving input from alders. Historically, as you know, many alders were not invited into this process.
The council passed the mayor's fourth budget proposal. His first included a $300 million property tax increase. By a 50-0 vote, the council rejected it. Then the mayor sought a $150 million hike. Alders had no interest in that. Then he pushed a $68.5 million increase, also a no-go. In addition to property taxes, the mayor tried for a 34% increase in the liquor tax. That also did not make it into the final budget. But many under-the-radar tax increases and cuts did, including an increase on the tax on personal property leases, such as cloud computing and car leases. In addition to raising the amusement tax, raising the tax on checkout bags at the grocery store, raising the tax on various license fees and residential parking permits, and eliminating $74 million from guaranteed basic income and some small business programs. Critics say the new revenue is a short-term fix. Much more work must be done to shrink the size of government. The mayor's long-term solution? Additional funding from the state.
If we don't go together, and I'm committed to going together to Springfield to fight for progressive revenue, we're not going to be able to continue to make the type of investments that we've made thus far.
Getting more money from Springfield is not a sure thing. After all, the state has a projected budget deficit. We're live this afternoon in the South Loop. Wallace Bradley, WGN News.
All I can say, the budget comes up every year. When I heard Alderman Lopez say, you know, he remember when he had to vote for $58 million in property taxes. When I hear Alderman Bill, when it came up in one of the stories in the news media, and the other media for some reason didn't want to say nothing about it. The votes that Mayor Daley got from elected officials to sell off major revenue generating entities. He forgot that he had cast that vote. So it made him part of the problem that the city of Chicago finds itself in when Brandon had to present a budget. And everybody say, he got to fix this, he got to fix this, but he didn't create it. He inherited it. This is the first time I saw elected alders have this much say-so in the budgets. Now you got one alderman, with the 36th Ward alderman, I think it is. He want to go to Springfield to get them to change it where the mayor don't have legislative control over how the budget, the agenda of the budget. But I never heard him say that when Rahm Emanuel was the mayor. I didn't hear him say that when Laurie was the mayor. And if he was in office when Daley's, the son, was the mayor, I didn't hear him say it or no other alderman say it. But now that you got a young black man that's the mayor and know everything is on the 5th floor and found out why a lot of resources wasn't coming back to the African American community, especially the schools. We're going to talk about that too. All of a sudden you want to run to Springfield to change the rules. But you don't want to run to Springfield to help bring the money back to Chicago. And then y'all hurt and y'all said, well, he didn't talk to me. Well, he didn't talk. How you going to keep talking to someone that don't want to work with you? Sister Martin, let's get to the next one.
Pristine playgrounds on the outside and well-funded resources on the inside are what Mayor Brandon Johnson says every Chicago public school deserves. The mayor says his 10 appointments to the school board are people who share his vision of equity. Longtime immigration activist Emma Lozano is one of Johnson's appointees.
We were involved in fighting the overcrowding and making sure bilingual education was accessible to our children.
The 21-member hybrid school board will be sworn in mid-January. 10 were elected. Former CPS Deputy CEO Sean Hardin is the mayor's pick for school board president. His 9 other appointments, and one yet to be named, are a mix of activists and people with education experience.
We have 2 candidates from the November election who came in second in their districts who have been chosen now to be the appointees.
The appointees will join Johnson's current members, Debbie Pope, Michaela Blaze, Frank Thomas, and Olga Bautista. Many of the mayor's picks have been endorsed by or have ties to the Chicago Teachers Union.
We had board members in the past that had ties to banks and corporations. And how did that serve our children? It didn't.
15 of the 21 members are likely to vote with the mayor on his vision for CPS. Elected members with no ties to CTU vow to work with everyone on the board, which will be the largest school board in the country.
It's going to be a big board. We're going to have to work together. We're going to have to collaborate.
I'm confident that once we get into our board work, we'll be able to make that happen collaboratively.
A hybrid school board will be in place for 2 years. Then elections will take place in November of 2026. And the following January in 2027, a fully elected school board will be sworn in.
They said he don't have a right to get rid of the school board. They want to say he wasn't an advocate pushing for an elected school board, which he was. Some people say, well, he ain't pushed hard enough. Then they want to run back to Springfield and say he don't have a right to do that when every mayor had the right to pick various boards and various commissions or whatever you want to call. They'll push their agenda to make the city work for them and others that's with them. The young man that he picked to be the president of the school board is a good pick. Those 10 people that he picked are good people that believe in education for all of us, especially at a time when you got a president that's coming into office that want to get rid of the Department of Education. I want to say this. I'm glad that they passed what's known on the streets as the people's budget. I'm glad Brandon stayed true to his promise. They mad at that. Well, he should have said no taxes a long time ago. He had to the 31st to say it. He said it before Christmas. So Navi Lalivai, if that's what you want to say. I'll say to God be the glory. That's Gator's story, and it's the Bradley Report. You better listen.